Week 34, day 4, knowledgeable. We're going to talk about the Parker brothers. There were 6 boys in the Parker family. Sam and Bert Parker had 6 boys. The parents were the same, with the same environment. However, there were 6 totally different people in knowledge. 3 of the brothers were expert mechanics. 3 of the Parker boys could take a car apart and put it back together. 3 of the Parker boys had no mechanical ability, 0. 3 brothers were college educated, and 1 became a judge, 1 a teacher, and another a football coach. The other brothers became a car dealer, an Army veteran, and sadly, a Vietnam fatality. All 6 had above average intelligence, but all chose different areas to focus for knowledge. This doesn't make any one of them better or the worse. All the brothers became the best person they could be in different fields. The one that became a judge is one of the, to me, is probably the most interesting of the 6. Because he went to work, he went to college, got a degree, got out of college, and was making really good money in the finance business. Bought a house, had a child, was really doing well. And he came in one day and he said, I want to be a lawyer. I have always wanted to be a lawyer. In order to be a lawyer, he had to go back to school and get a degree in a different field and then get accepted into a law school and go to law school. He was looking at another 5 years of college. His wife said, I'll support you in it. He went back to college, he got a job. He actually had a paper route, throwing papers. He worked at 7-Eleven. His wife worked at a TV store. They spent the next 5 years very near poverty. And he'd given up financially a really good job. He became a lawyer, was the happiest person in the world because he was doing what he wanted to do. Then he became a judge. You see, everybody has knowledge. When I went to Marshall, Texas, when I left Judson and I went to Marshall, and I lived in the field house from February until May, because Mary and the kids stayed in San Antonio. And we couldn't afford 2 houses, so I stayed, lived, actually slept in the field house. Well, after a while, the kids knew I was going to be in the field house in the evening, so they would come by. And I was young enough, and they were such good kids, they'd come by, and we'd play dominoes. We would go around maybe 2 or 3 times, and one of the kids would look at me and say, Coach, play your 3-2. How do you know I got a 3-2? Well, because you play it. You got to be kidding me. Now, that's the highest level of statistics, to be able to predict what somebody has in their hand after just 2 or 3 rounds, or just 1 round. These same kids, some of them were failing fundamentals of mathematics. Explain to me why. It's real simple. The 3 brothers that almost couldn't change oil. Now, I could change oil, but I mean, couldn't do anything mechanically with a car. We had no desire. We didn't want, it wasn't important to us to learn anything about cars. those players, they didn't care anything about the fundamentals of mathematics, but it was a level of competency if you couldn't play dominoes. There was a hierarchy. There were domino tournaments in Marshall, Texas. And I mean, that they could slap those dominoes on the ground and give me a dime. And I mean, just rock you. And it was important to them. And what you've got to find, what knowledge is it that's important to you? And everybody's got it. They're the why in your life, the how doesn't matter. You've got to find whatever that knowledge is. What that knowledge is, you've got to find it and make it work for you. The brother that wanted to be a judge, he became a lawyer. And he was willing to spend 5 years working at a 7-Eleven, having a paper route, sacrificing to get to where he wanted to get to. That's what you've got to do. Find out what it is that you have a great knowledge of and the ability to do, and then use it to make yourself the best you that you can be. Knowledgeable doesn't mean a specific type of knowledge. Everybody has a quality of knowledge. You are knowledgeable in some field. Find that field and develop it to the nth degree. Start looking right now where that knowledge is. See you tomorrow.